Hey, what's up? My name is Heiko. I am an electronic music producer slash DAWless live act, and I release and play live under the artist name of Nogasayan. And yeah, on this channel I want to give you some insights into my production techniques, discuss synthesizers, workflows, and yeah, just hang out with you guys, maybe make some music together, and hopefully have a great time. Yeah, so and if you can take something from it for your workflow, I think that would be awesome. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so right at the start, a little disclaimer. This is my first attempt of making a proper YouTube video, so bear with me. Speaking into a camera is still a little bit weird. At least it feels like being weird. And I still have to practice speaking English fluent. Yeah, but I'm really up for it, and hope you can take something away from it for you. So a few weeks ago I played a live set here in my hometown for an event called Meet the Machines. And I played a DAWless live set. And some people asked me about my setup, because it was a DAWless setup. And so I decided to shoot a video about it so I can answer all the questions I got, and maybe it's interesting for you also. Yeah. So, okay, let's get into it. So that's it. My current live set looks like this. The machines I'm using for my current live set is the Octatrack, the Digitakt, the TR8S, the Roland S1, the Typhon from Jackbox, and now the TD3. But I haven't used this one in the live set. I used another machine. Let me quickly show you which machine I used and why it's not in the setup anymore. It is, let me take that back again. So it is the Blofeld from Waldorf. It's a quite nice synthesizer. I like the sound and the capabilities of it, but I will show you in a later minute why it is not in my live set anymore. I have some few reasons. Yeah, okay. So that's why I swapped the 303 for. Yeah. Okay, so let's maybe begin with the MIDI routing. The MIDI routing, MIDI start, stop, and clock signal comes from the Octatrack. This means Octatrack is the master clock. The clock goes into the Digitakt, and then the Digitakt goes into the MIDI splitter, and the MIDI splitter splits the MIDI signal in 4 different MIDI signals, and they are going further into the other machines. So I have start, stop, and clock signal for the TR8. I use the internal sequencer from the TR8. Then the MIDI signal goes into the Roland S1. I only send note information for that, so I use it as a sound generator. I don't use the internal sequencer. Then the MIDI signal goes into the 303, and there I use start, stop, and clock information. I do use the internal sequencer from the 303 because of various reasons. I think the 303 sounds not as good as it could if you don't use the internal sequencer, and the 303 should be sequenced by itself. Yeah, I think that's how it was forever. And that's how it's meant to be, I think. Then the MIDI signal goes into the Typhon, and also the Typhon only gets note information. No start, stop, no clock, because I don't use the internal sequencer. Yeah, it just gets the note informations. Yeah, that's the MIDI side of things. I can maybe quickly explain the audio routing, because then you already see for what I use the Octatrack for. Yeah, it's no rocket science in this case. I show you. The audio routing. The Digitakt goes audios into the external input on the TR8. Or maybe let me show you this. There goes the Digitakt into the TR8S, and then together with the TR8S, the signal goes into the octatrack input A and B. So that's yeah, that's the drum sounds and the one-shot samples and stuff like that, and everything goes into the left side of the octatrack. Also, the 303 goes into the octatrack on the left A and B, because the audio from the 303 goes into the Digitakt. So I see the 303 not really as a bass line as it writes there. I think the 303 approach is more like a percussive, rhythmic approach, which complements the overall groove, and that's why I put it audio in the Digitakt. And yeah, so I have percussion, rhythm, groove things going into the octatrack on input A and B, and I have the Roland S1 and the Typhon going into the octatrack input C and D. Yeah. Okay. One thing is, I should mention, the Typhon goes into the S1 here, into the audio in, and then comes out together with the signal from this S1 and goes, yeah, both together are going into the input C and D on the octatrack. So I use the octatrack mainly as a performance mixer. Yeah. I use the template from EasyBot for that. I think I'm using the hybrid template at the moment. Yeah. Let me show you. I waited, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks, and I got these beautiful magnets. You can see all the way from United States. Autofocus. Yeah, he makes these little magnets. They fit onto the octatrack, and for every template, I'm not quite sure if it's every template, but I have 3 magnets for 3 different templates, and I can just show you. I can just put it on there. It sticks very nicely because it's a magnet. Yeah, so these magnets are working really fine for me. Yeah. And that's the octatrack. What next? Next we have the Digitakt. What I use the Digitakt for? So I use the Digitakt for one-shot samples. I make heavy use of the trick conditions, some LFO settings, and I use chord samples quite a lot with it, and MIDI sequencing synths. Yeah. So all the MIDI sequencing which goes out to the synthesizers like the S1 and the Typhon comes from the MIDI. Oh, what was that? Okay. Comes from the Digitakt. Yeah, so it's my main sequencer for all the synthesizers, and yeah, I use the Digitakt also for one-shot samples, as I said, and chord samples and some ear candy stuff, and I use it with the trick conditions so that any percussion lines or sound arrangements I create evolve over time by itself. So in a live situation that I have some kind of slow LFO rise and fall and rise and fall again, and so I have a little bit movement in the sounds already, and I do not have to manipulate everything live on time. So yeah, I play pretty much with the LFO settings and trick conditions and the probability as well. Yeah, I think if you know the Elektron workflow and especially the Elektron sequencer, then you know what I mean with trick conditions and probability. that's awesome. For longer sequences that have to evolve over time by itself, these true parameters are just unbeatable, I think. So, what I use the TR8S for? I use it only as a drum machine, and for some few one-shot samples and transition effects. Yeah. Before that, I had all the drum sounds in the Digitakt, but I don't use the Digitakt as a drum machine anymore. That's why I added a drum machine which I use only for drums. Yeah, I'll tell you why in a minute. Yeah, so I mean, it's just so immediate in a live situation. Every parameter is reachable at every time without having to go through pages and subpages like on the Digitakt, for example. You know, if you have, let me check. Here you have a check. Here you have a check. Here you have a sound. If I want, in a live situation where everything is running together nicely, I want this sound to go longer. I have to go into the amp page. I can turn some knobs, and if I want to go further, I have to go into the sub page here on the filter. Then the other filter is on the sub page from the filter page. Then I want do some tune action, or I don't know, the bit reduction, or you see what I mean? If you want to change something on the Digitakt, you have to go through these pages and these sub-pages, and that's quite annoying in a live situation. I mean, I get it, I like it. I like the Digitakt for what it is and what it can do. If I do, I don't know, if I'm creating songs or I do sound design, or I can totally gel with it. But in a live situation where I want things to be immediate, changeable, then these sub-pages are not, yeah, my brain cannot process everything at once in a live situation where you are excited and people dancing and you are like, well, okay, what do I next? What do I do next? And then if you then have to go to these through these sub-pages and turn a knob, then change the page, turn another knob, turn the page, go back to the first page, remember what you just changed and change it back in a break or something like that. I don't know. It's overwhelming sometimes, even in a live situation. That's why I wish the Digitakt had performance macros, or you can utilize some of these poties to use it as a performance macro. Maybe I missed something. If you guys know, or if there is a possibility to use these Digitakt knobs for performance macros of the Digitakt parameters itself or themselves, then yeah, please write it in the comments. I'm heavily searching for something like that. Yeah, okay, so I don't want to talk any longer about the Digitakt. That's why I use the Digitakt for. I had some sounds here. It's always, it's some kind of ear candy and some chords and some steps and yeah, but no drums. That's where the TR8 comes into place. There I have a bass drum, another bass drum, a snare drum, a clap, 3 different kinds of hi-hats, a closed hi-hat, a shaker, an open hi-hat, and that's a ride. And yeah, I think to have these kind of drum sounds in an extra machine and immediate reachable every parameter, because it's one knob per function almost on the TR8S, that's what I need for playing live. I need a drum machine that is a drum machine and nothing more than that. I have 3 transition effects which are on these 3 faders. that's like some metallic step sounds or something like that, where I can just raise the reverb and do a transition with it, because the reverb is fading out. If you pull back the fader to 0, then the reverb is still there. The tail, that's what I want to say. The tail is still there if you mute these faders, and that's awesome. That's awesome for playing in transitions live. Yeah. So that's why I use the TR8S for. And now we have the 303, which is new in my setup. I mean, I know the 303, but it's new in my setup. It's not playing with me if I play on, if I press on play. I have to integrate it fully. Yeah, but that's for another video. Then I have the Roland S1, which is playing some deep basses, analog style basses, and some chord progressions, because it's polyphonic and it's Roland's ACB technology, which means it sounds like an analog synthesizer. And in such a small portable size, it's just incredible. This thing is really a must-have. Yeah. It's just a must-have. Yeah, then we have the Jetbox Typhon. I mean, this thing. Watch the stimming tutorial on this Typhon, Jetbox Typhon. I mean, it's not a tutorial, but it's a review. Watch it. He says the Typhon is a techno machine, and it truly is. The Typhon is a techno machine. It can sound so nasty. It has these sine waves effects on it, which you can access over these 5 sliders. And every function you really need in a live situation, you have it on the surface here. You don't have to program any CC parameters from the Digitakt to control the Typhon remotely. You can do pretty much everything you need in a live situation from the device itself, and that's what I like. I mean, that's what I like. I want to touch synthesizers, I want to turn knobs live, I want to hear what I'm doing if I turn a knob. I don't want to go through subpages or menus, or I just want to touch something, turn on it, and hear a change. And yeah, so creating transitions and go far up and drop, and I don't know, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's why I love one knob per function on synthesizers. And yeah, not every synthesizer fits to that workflow, and this one clearly does not. No, it does not. I mean, the Blofeld is a great sounding synthesizer. Everyone knows that, whoever had the chance to use it. And maybe it will stick in the studio and lives on my desk within an Ableton environment, and I still use it to produce some tracks. Or yeah, maybe I use some synthesizer lines coming from the Blofeld, going through Ableton, and then end up in my Octa track, maybe as a stem or something like that. But I will not use it anymore in a live situation, because you only have these 4 encoders, and everything you want to do, you have to do via this matrix. Look, can you see it? You have this matrix. Do you know the Dave Smith Evolver? It works kindly the same. You have this matrix here, and you have to choose which line and which column, and then you can choose the parameter or change the parameter with these knobs. No, it just doesn't work in a live situation. My brain does not work like that. So that's why the Blofeld has to go. Yeah, and that's why this thing is in my live set, because everybody needs the 303. Everyone knows that. and I stick to it and will integrate it quite nicely into the setup, I think. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I think I want to go a little bit deeper into the setup and show you guys what the actual machines do. And maybe we can make some music together, or I show you a track breakdown and how I do the tracks for live, and then maybe how I bring it into Ableton later to finish some tracks in the studio, because all my tracks are coming from my live set. And if I like a track, or if I played the track live and it works, people were dancing and so on, then I will probably take it from the machines into Ableton and finish it. That's how I work. And yeah, maybe it's interesting for you. I think that's it for now. If you like this video, then hit the like button and maybe subscribe to my channel. I am working on more videos like that because I think making YouTube videos is fun. I quite like these kinds of videos. And if you have any questions, then drop it in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. I will love to answer every single one of them. Also, check out my music on Beatport, Bandcamp or Spotify if you like. There are some more releases coming in the next future. And that's it for now. Until next time, take care. Bye.